Good evening. Welcome to Tuesday at Two Lines. Running a few minutes late. I apologize. Had a couple technical difficulties. I moved back over to the main track, and so I had a couple of setup issues that I had to fix. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Yeah. It's Tuesday, January 21st. I really, for the last 2 days, I have kind of been checked out from slot cars. I did catch up with George. He released, Area 51 released 2 videos today on his build, and so I did get to watch those. And yeah, that's where we're at. But outside of that, it was a busy weekend for slot cars. The Home Racing World Proxy was this past weekend, and spent Friday night and Saturday afternoon watching all of the live streams from Harry and the guys. And congratulations to the winners of the raffle. I believe it was Robert Lee won one of the cars, and I think Bill from Bowtie Garage, he won the other. So congratulations, you guys got 2 really good cars. And I guess they're gonna have another raffle later this week, maybe. I'll be honest with you, I didn't get in the raffle, and I'm upset about that. But the reason why is I was so distracted because our cars did not show up. And most of you already know that. We were a little late sending them in, but normally to Harry from Ohio is 3, maximum 4 days. And we knew there were some post office issues. I should have sent them UPS or paid for like next day. Because I think it was the only way I could guarantee that they would get there. And as of 8:05 p.m. on Tuesday, 10, 11, 12 days, however many days it's been since I shipped them out, they are still nowhere close to Dixon, Missouri. So, Harry, I apologize that our cars didn't make it. But what that means is Dusty and I have, and a few other guys that their cars didn't make it either, the Summer Showdown cars are already going to be there. 6 months early. No procrastination this time from Marty. So Harry's just going to keep those cars until the Summer Showdown. My guess is he'll send our NASCARs back and only have one, or I guess if we do a modified, we'd have a second car. But yeah, just a little disappointed. Nothing we could do about it. The Postal Service, shout out to those people. I know it's tough, the weather, but what is the saying? Come wind or rain or snow or sleet or nothing keeps the mail from running. I don't know that that's the case anymore. And it's a shame that they have not been able to fix their logistical issues, but it's just toy cars. So we'll get those back, and we'll have them here for our oval, and maybe they'll do another proxy down the road, and we'll be able to send them in. So we'll see. I can't be too upset. It's nobody's fault, but mine. So anyway. But yeah, that was a lot of fun watching the races, the proxy. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who all the winners were, but the gap from last to first was not huge. I don't know. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what the lap count was, but it was pretty tight. Especially the the NASCAR cars, I felt like those were all relatively close. And even the showdown cars, you'll have a few heats where the cars just stay in the slot and there are no races, or no wrecks. Sorry, and those tend to be the cars that end up on top. So if it's 4 lanes, if you can run 3 out of 4 clean heats with your car, you've got a shot at finishing towards the top. The more crashes there are, the less likely you're going to get a chance to get to win that. And that's part of the fun. That's kind of what I enjoy. Is like maybe my car will be good and stay in the slot and easy to drive, right? And hopefully you get in with a fast heat that everybody just stays out of everybody's way. And but a lot of times people enjoy the crashes, especially the NASCAR. There wasn't a lot of room on the track. You get the big 124, 125th scale cars out there, bumper to bumper, and there's a lot of bumping and racing, and which is a lot of fun. So, but overall, it was a really great event. Man, so many cars. It's pretty wild to see how that has really grown just in the period of time that I've been watching it. And I mean, I've only been in this hobby for 3 years, starting February 1st. Is sort of when I started. And it's really taken off. I've kind of been watching it ever since. It's one of the things. I found Harry's channel, Home Racing World, because I found George pretty quick when I jumped into the hobby and jumped in onto YouTube. So it was kind of fun to watch that. So hopefully you got to watch some of it. If not, they're out there. You can go watch them. They're good rewatches. It's a lot of fun. But great job, everyone. The modeling was great. The cars look fantastic. So I will put this out there. I apologize. I've got a crushing headache at the moment. So we're going to go as long as we feel we can go. I'm going to be a gamer. But man, all day long I've been kind of fighting it. So if I act a little out of it, that's why. So that was the Home Racing World Proxy. I've got some new cars on the desk that we're tuning. I think I've showed this. I've been working on John Mark's Trans Am. This is a Pioneer, and it's a 3D printed chassis, and just doing the final tuning. I'm going to change the motor, and for the most part, this thing's an easy driver. John Mark will like it. It's pretty much ready. Next month at Cincy Slots is the Trans Am series. I've pretty much written off doing well in the Group 2 this month. There's about 3 guys that are just head and shoulders above everybody else in Group 2, and we can't keep up with them. They're winning by 2 or 3 laps on the field, and yeah, we can't keep up with Vince and Rex and Andy. Those 3 guys seem to be fighting for the top spot. And then you got Bruce is right there just behind him in 4th, about a lap and a half behind. And then there's a whole bunch of us from 5th place to 15th place, all finishing on like 44 laps. So the Dotson's back together, running pretty good. It's a good car. I can't complain. I tightened it up just a touch, and that really brought me some speed. I didn't think it was going to do so well. Hopefully this week, I'll get back there on Thursday, and we'll give it another shot, but no chance of winning that one. It's just not fast enough. My Alpha isn't any better. So, and then I'm working on my CUDA, and it's close to being ready. I need to do a few more things to it, just Yeah, it's not fast. I'm not. I don't have a chance at winning with this one, but I like the look of it. It looks good, but it's just not. It's not a fast car. I could run my Thunderslot Mustang. I did get a win with this last year on one of the nights, and then I went to racing this because I wanted to race this. So in the Trans Am class, this is going to be your winners, the Thunderslot Mustangs. So anybody who runs those, they're going to finish at the top of the list. But I've got mine prepped and ready just in case I chicken out and not run this. I'd love to build another one. The next one I would like to build the 68 Camaro that Scalextric is putting out this year. I'll put a 3D chassis under it. The only other thing is I thought I might build a brass chassis because it's actually in the rules is allowed, but those cars are so heavy. I don't think there's a chance to keep up. I just don't know it'll handle well enough against a pod type car. So, and then the month after that is Revo slots. I do have my Marcos. I finally opened it up and started tuning on it. I need to glue the wheel inserts in, but I was playing around with them. Bruce actually sent with Dusty some wheel inserts for us to try. And these are something new that he's printing in-house at Cincy Slots. And if you're looking for wheel inserts, he's got tons of great choices. So he sent some Group 2 and regular wheels. And I don't know if you can see this or not. Let me see if I can find something that you might be able to see. We've got some different designs. And, man, they look great. Bruce did an awesome job. So, I don't know if you can see that. If I can get it to focus. There you go. And those are just a few that he sent for us to try. And, man, they look good. I get them painted up. And so I might try a set of those in this Revo. I'll have to glue them in because I think the Revo wheels are just a little bit bigger. But we'll try some in the Marcos. Just started tuning on this. It's running okay. I'll probably, this one's ready to race. Shout out to my brother for breaking the wing off of it the other night, dropping it on the floor. But I love this car. It is an easy drive. It's not the fastest Revo slot, but it handles really well. Stays in the slot. I can really drive it. So we'll probably give that a run. But I do have a few other options when it comes. I've always got my Porsche GT2, the 911 GT2, that I can run in the Revo slot class. So that's what's on the bench. It's that time of year. We're kind of in the middle of the race season, but we've got some fun classes coming. The last month will be 2 analog classes. It'll be the Revo Slot GT class and the NSR GT class. And so I'm trying to decide. I've got a couple of NSRs that I can run. Maybe the Lola will ship by the time we get there. It's kind of what I'm hoping, and we'll see. But guys, if you're looking for some wheel inserts, check out CincySlots.com. Bruce has got a whole selection of some 3D printed, I think it was resin printed, wheel inserts and some other things. He talked in his last about some replacement wings for some Carrera cars, and I think that is great. And so he's got those available. Wings, like Carrera's not making wings, so if you break the wing, you're kind of done. And so all my Carrera cars, the wings are all broken off of all of them. Like here's off of my Ferrari, and I just pull them off because I don't want to break them. But now that Bruce is printing some of these, That's kind of handy. So check him out, cincyslots.com. Bruce is a great guy. And if, he might have something out there. Plus, he always has some slightly used cars out there if you're looking for something specific. So, but give him a shout out. He's released a couple videos the last couple days, and got some new cars in. So I'll probably spend some money on Thursday night working with him on some track layout. So that's kind of the big thing I have to talk about tonight. I think it's time, finally, to put a new layout here at Two Lines. So we'll talk about that. So let's jump in the chat now that I'm 20 minutes in and see who all we have tonight. Of course, I can always count on the fingers. B2, Robert Lee, Don Young. Welcome, Don. Hey, Chris. Thanks for being here. Hey, Gary. Mr. Albright. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being here. Shotgun Dave. Hey, Dave. Thanks for being here. Tad. Tad is just north of Evansville. Tad, about, 10, 12 years ago, maybe it's longer, 15 years ago, I have a friend, Shannon, who is in full-time ministry with a missions organization. And back then, that mission organization was doing, they would set up a full-size replica of the temple from the Bible, and it would travel around, and it was in Evansville at a church for a year. And we went, John Mark and I jumped in. John Mark had access to a little Cessna plane. We flew from Chillicothe to Evansville, worked and set a bunch of stuff up, and helped them set that temple up. And that was a job, man. There's a lot of stuff going on, but so familiar with Evansville, and you're not that far from us. So anyway, I just saw that you said you were north of Evansville, and that reminded me. But it was kind of cool. We flew over and helped them one day set up a big tent and the Ark of the Covenant and a bunch of stuff like that. Jerry's in the house. Hey, Jerry. John Tucci. Bo's up late. Thanks for tuning in, Bo. Hey, Dusty. Tad. It's a little cool down in the basement tonight. Tires wouldn't be a great night to run some laps. Although I do have a great track view set up. So that's probably a better track view than I've probably ever been able to give during a live stream. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool down here. And I think my TV died, so I've got to work on that. I got a new HDMI adapter that I needed. I accidentally broke the old one, so I got to test it tonight. But yeah, that's not a bad view. I kind of like that. So who else do we have? Hey, Greg, cars still haven't made it, so I imagine Harry's waiting to send yours out once ours come back. So maybe they'll get there maybe they'll be there by Friday. We'll see. George said that his car got there today, and he sent his car the same day that I sent Dusty and I's cars. So maybe we'll get lucky. They'll show up tomorrow, but they were in Kansas City, Kansas, last night. It scanned like 9:45. So who knows? Hey, Daniel. What's up? Hey, KR Bridges. KR had a good weekend at the Proxy. Yeah, man, it's frigid here too. Eat your soup. Hey, Chris came down on Sunday, which was cool. We got to hang out with Chris for a little bit. Ran some laps. So, Chris, thanks. Hey, Slightly Mad. Slightly Mad, I'm working on your stickers. I will let you know. I got some stickers from Todd Toju metal. He sent me a T-shirt and some stickers, and like I've got to order my stickers. So I'm working on getting the logo finished for that and the design I want, and I'll hopefully maybe order those this week and get that done and out of the way. So as soon as I get them, I'll let you know. Hey, 35 Salty, thanks for joining. Yeah, sorry guys if I missed somebody. Hey Todd, where in Western PA, KR, my father's place is in Mercer. There you go. So I love how people are able to connect. Maybe find some people you didn't know you could race with. Hey, John Mark. Hey, Steve. Bob. Welcome, guys. Thanks for being here. Hey, Dan. Daryl Rogers. Marty had to get his hair gel just right. Yeah. Marty stayed upstairs until the very last second because it's cold down here. Hey, Ernest. Got to hang out on Ernest's live stream on Saturday night. He was racing with his son, which was fun to watch. Great job, guys. They got a small track, but they make the best of it. They have a good time. So that was fun to watch. Well done. So if I missed somebody, sorry. Hey, DT Slots. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. Rather than type in a bunch of names, hello to all the usual suspects who said hello. There you go, John. Yeah, Dave, man, at first I was just disappointed because, you work on the cars, and I know my paint job wasn't great, but I felt like the car ran okay, the NASCAR. And it's just disappointing that it didn't get to run. But I know that, I know Harry felt bad, but it's not his fault. He kept apologizing, and it stunk, but it still didn't make me not enjoy watching the race. It was a little difficult when your car should be there, but yeah. Like I said, we'll be first in line for the summer showdown, and we'll find out what we're building for the summer. Harry posted a picture with a bunch of trucks, and I posted, "Is this foreshadowing?" And got quite a few laughs. So I'm guessing, if I was a betting man, that the larger scale build this time will be trucks. And so if that's the case, then I'm going to get started early on it. So I've got time to actually run some laps with it and tune it. So, but yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you. Hey, George. Unfortunately, UPS is not in Dixon. Yeah, George, but I think that if you send something, UPS delivers it to the post office, because they do that with some packages here, and let the UPS or USPS be the last mile delivery. And if it would have made it to the Dixon post office, it would have been delivered. So, so maybe the next time, I don't know. I can't imagine that UPS doesn't go to Dixon. I just know that there's not a UPS store, but I'm sure that they get deliveries from UPS, probably at the post office, because that's what happens here sometimes in Chillicothe. We have a hub, a UPS hub, and they don't even have a store here anymore. So, but yeah, it was unfortunate. But there was a lot of people. Lee Fisher's, his cars. I think that's who it was. Lee's cars didn't make it. Who else? Gene's cars didn't make it. So I know that we weren't alone. Valentine, Marty, I had the same problem with the mail. Elmer, you did with your scratch builds too. Yeah. James. Go Buckeyes. Sorry for all the Michigan guys. But we kept it in the Big Ten, man. So that's 2 years in a row the Big Ten has won the national championship. I'm not a Michigan hater. I really only hate them when they're playing the Buckeyes, and it's not really hate. So I was glad to see. I root for the Big Ten, so it was awesome to see, Penn State, Indiana, Ohio State all in the top 12 to get in the playoffs. That was great. So, but yep, that team was on a mission after they lost that game to Michigan. So, yep, pretty happy. Thanks, James. Hey, Nick. So, thanks for tuning in. Hey, Chris. Yeah, Dusty. My wife has an Instagram account that she sells vintage items like home goods, and she sent out 6 packages on Friday, the same time I sent packages to Harry, and all 6 of them delivered on Tuesday. Exactly when they said. But I don't think any of them had to go through St. Louis. So I'm going to blame St. Louis, since our car's set in St. Louis for 8 days. 8 days, yeah. Yeah, yes, she did. Olga did crash her broom. But we'll be all right. That's definitely not the case anymore. Yeah. Rain is the first one, Newman. Rain. There you go. Rain, nor sleet, nor roast coffee. Yep. Roast coffee, the official coffee of Two Line Slot Cars. I mean, we just got a great crowd. Holy cow. I just looked. We have 105 people online. High five, fellas. That is incredible. Greg, yes, I did see your wheel fall off. And that kind of hurt you in the race, didn't it? Yeah, the offs really impact on that short track. You can find yourself way behind, especially if you have a problem in like the outside lane, because whoever is driving that green lane or the first 2 lanes, they were putting up some laps. And so if you got behind on one of the outside lanes, you were not catching up. But it's all right, Greg. Greg is having Harry send his NASCAR here so that Dusty and I will have put John Mark in one of the NASCARs when we get him back, and we'll do some racing here. We'll have our own little NASCAR 3-car race. You could have a mini proxy in the spring for modern NASCARs to race your car, and modern NASCARs could have a second race before they hit the shelf. KR, yeah, you're right. Since they're already built, I could just say, guys, we'll do a proxy here and run them on the short track. So that's actually a really good idea. Maybe I'll put something together after the Fast Lap Challenge. I wouldn't want to bump into anybody else's proxy. I know Shotgun Dave is working on potentially a proxy race. George will have his midgets again, I think, but that might be later in the fall. Speaking of midgets, we have 2 of the midgets, actually the first and second place midgets here on our track, because Jeff G sent the Spider-Man midget, and then we got the I felt bad. They've the post office delivered one of them, and the box laid in a snowbank for a week because it must have blown off the porch. They must have set it on top of my table on my porch instead of down on the ground, and it flew off and into a snowbank and then got covered up. And we had a nice little fall there a couple days ago and found it. Postal Service is having rough couple weeks. But it's sweet and it runs really, really good. Let's see. What was it was Greg Guth who sent the other one. Yeah, Greg, there you go. I thought I saw you in the list. Yeah, the Pioneer's pretty sweet. It's a great looking car. Oh, Dave, I took some medication, which I never take medication, and just in the last few minutes, it's kicked in. I'm actually getting my second wind here. I'm feeling pretty good, but I appreciate that. No, the live stream must go on, brother. Bryce, hey, Bryce. Just got my butt kicked around the track by my daughter again. Hey, my daughter likes to run her mouth a little bit. She hasn't quite got there yet, but every time she runs some laps, she gets a little faster and a little faster. So my day's coming, I think. Yeah, Jerry. They are making they're releasing a Trans Am Hornet. Scalextric is, so that'll give us another body to build on. Just need somebody to do a 3D chassis for it. But it's possible that it might be the same chassis that's under the CUDA, and we could use that. But there are some Javelins in the class at Cincy Slots, which is kind of cool. So Bryce, yeah, man, I get it. Hang in there. Daryl, I think we need to tech their cars. So here's the thing about that, Daryl. If there was anything going on, that's all Bruce would need to do is just tech for 1 week, and that would take care of it. And listen, I don't want to be a whiner. I just need to drive better, stay in the slot, and maybe I'd have a chance at getting a little closer to them. But I will say that those cars don't sound like a Riva slot when they go by. So I think they've messed with the gearing a little bit, and we're supposed to be running the stock gearing. So that's my opinion. But they're good drivers too. So they got a fast car, keep it in the slot, don't come out, you win. So that's what I'm going to try to do on Thursday. Hey, Josh. Josh is close. His car's quick. Just not as quick. Let's see here. I'm going deeper down the rabbit hole. I bought my 3-year-old a Carrera Go Paw Patrol set. Hey, the Carrera Go stuff is fun. That's a cool size. That'll be fun. Good evening, Mark. Thanks for tuning in. Daryl's not wrong. Let's see. Gary, Marty, I watched the video when you got your Shadow slot car and you didn't know whether you wanted to run it or not. Had me laughing. Yeah, Gary, I wasn't sure, but I've run it. It's a good car. The Shadow is a great car. Daryl sent me pictures of his Shadow, and there's going to be a golf liveried Shadow on a track near you at some point. Well, maybe not near you, but near me. So it'll. Alan is doing a very cool golf paint livery on a Shadow for Daryl. That's going to be good stuff. Hey, Pistol Pete. A Beggar's Canyon themed oval. Nice. Yeah, I'm telling you what, guys, I wasn't sure about the oval track. I thought maybe I would get bored with it. And I'm telling you, I didn't run on this track for like a month because I was having a blast over on the oval. And we're moving back over here because I really need to get laps in on this thing and get some training. so that I could do a little better on Thursday nights. But man, yeah, the oval. If you end up building one, you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Like the one thing I do, I've talked about this before. I rearranged that room and I built it the right size, but I do regret not making it 4 feet longer. So it'd be a little more like Harry's, the same distance, because you can really open the cars up. It's hard to get the cars opened up on this. I actually only run at 9.5 volts, because any more than that, it's just too much voltage for those cars on that track. You don't even come close to getting them open up. So 9.5 volts, very competitive. They still move pretty quick. So John Albright, 2 lines. Okay. Which Revo Group 2 cars are the top 3 running? They are running all alphas. All of the fast cars on Bruce's track are the alphas. Now there's some cadets and there's some Datsuns and there's some BMWs and some Escorts, and they're all pretty much very, very close. But the Alpha seems to be a car that does a little bit better. Now, I know that you can run the 12th tooth pinion because the original Alphas shipped with that. So there might be some guys running the 12 tooth, but our experiment, it really didn't help. There's only one longer straight, and it's not that long, where the 12 tooth pinion, the speed you get from it, I think you're better off being able to wind out the car quicker. But that's my opinion. That's probably my driving style, but that's the thing. But the Alpha seems to be the car to beat. Vince has won all 3 weeks with his Alpha. Nobody's been able to knock him off. And then Bruce tuned a new Alpha, and that thing's fast, and he finished 4th, I think. So that's a quick one from Thunderslot. Yep, it is. The Mustangs are. What else do we have? I think Marty said the Alpha GTAs were the fastest. Yep, they were. I raced with very stiff competition too. Dickie Pearson. I've raced with Dickie. Actually, Steve, good guy. It was good to meet him at the Nationals. Dickie Pearson from Slot Car Corner and Host Racing has been invited to Italy this spring to compete. Steve, that's cool that you mentioned that, because our friend Greg, who's Bud Slots, and our friend Steve Holzman, who's usually in the chat, they're on that same team with Dickie. So that's very, very cool, and that might already be in the chat if I get further down. Hey, DW Barker, DW, yep, well done on your proxy build, man. Great job. Let's see. Elmer wants to know, what does everyone use to secure the wheel insert? Super glue, epoxy. I think what a lot of people use, super glue. A lot of people use fingernail polish, clear fingernail polish. This is what I have. I just got it at Walmart, and it does a nice job with wheel inserts because it's nice and thin. Sets up pretty quick, dries pretty quick, does a good job, but you can get them out if and when you need to. Hey, Brandon, welcome. So I feel like I'm checking to see if I've missed anybody. Hey, Slot Car League of Champions. I got a replacement Carrera replacement wing from Carrera. Nice. I don't know how easy that was for you to get, but Bruce is printing a handful of the popular wings that tend to break pretty easy, which is kind KR, I glue my Carrera wings right to the rear deck. Works and looks good. Bo, I see the USA is freezing over there. The winter storm in the south is weird. Yeah, Bo, we got some weird weather. There's a big Arctic blast that came out of, from the Arctic and pushed down through Canada and into the Midwest, and we have got some very frigid temperatures. Right now, it is it's 5 degrees here, but the wind chill is like minus 15, which is why it's cold in the basement. Oh, hey, Chris, thanks for posting that. There's the 3D Wings YouTube video. Hey, Gene, I just looked and my car just made it to Dixon today, of course. Oh, Gene, that's awesome that it made it. I haven't checked. Let me do an update. George sent me a message about they do not do that in Dixon because they do not want to pay anyone to maintain a presence there. That stinks, George. Good to know, though. Let's see here. Let me do an update and see if we have an update on ours. So it updated on the 20th at 8:43 and said that it was in the Kansas City, Kansas distribution center, and it's moving through the network today, arriving late. You think? So maybe we'll wake up to it being in Dixon tomorrow, or Friday. And Gene, that means that if you got that, then Harry probably got your car today, or we'll pick it up tomorrow. So quick for anybody who's sent me cars for the Fast Lap Challenge at this point. The first cars that I received, Jeff G, Robert Lee, and KR Bridges, your cars are all getting shipped back tomorrow. They'll be going to the post office. Hopefully you get them 2026 sometime. No, as long as you're not going through St. Louis, you're probably good. Who else? Michael, good evening from Los Angeles. Michael, hopefully you're safe from the fires, brother. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. Good to have you. Hey, Bill, congratulations on winning one of the raffle cars. I think you got the pink lemonade, which would look like a great car and seemed like it ran great. Yep, what Dusty said. We hope you're safe. Josh finally made it to a live. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate you joining, man. Hopefully you're not disappointed to be here live. Mark B, my car was in Home Racing World P.O. Box today. Sent it January 6th. So Gene, Mark, Lee, Dusty, me. So that's like five people who had sent cars in that didn't make it. Hey, Julian. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm going to talk about it because I'm getting ready to change it. We've had this layout for about a year, and we've got some specific things we want to work on as a driving technique. And so we want to change this up, and I'll actually share I'll share some ideas tonight in the live stream, and you guys can give me some feedback on what you think. But we've loved this layout, so I'm glad you like it. I have the plan if anybody wants it to this layout, because we may go back to this at some point because we like this one a lot. But I say that, and then I change the layout, and we like the next one. So that's usually the case, right? But Julian, thanks, man. thanks for tuning in tonight too. I appreciate you being here. If I'm not mistaken, it's the first time you've jumped in the chat. So thanks for being here. Pistol Pete, my donation car arrived in Dixon 2 p.m. today. Pistol Pete. So there's 6 people. Man alive. That's a lot of cars. Hey, what's up, P&W? Good evening, man. Thanks for tuning in, bro. Good to have you. Assault replacement wings made by Carrera. That's cool. It's good to know that you can get them. Marty, didn't realize your track banked up that high. So, yeah, this right here, it comes downhill, and then this kind of is a corkscrew downhill. So, yeah, it starts up here, and this is downhill all the way to this level. Yeah, that's a good angle to see it. Let me change over to this. There you can really see the angle. So it's not really banked as much as it's just an elevation change. But yeah. Yeah. I bet cars would look good going around the track with that camera. That's a new camera angle. So I'm trying something a little different to see if we can't get better coverage. The one thing with this new layout I'm thinking about is it doesn't have an overpass, so we wouldn't lose vision in the camera angle. I don't know. We'll see. Bill says it's winter tonight. Yes, it is cold for sure. Thanks for hanging out Saturday night. Colt loved it. Man, that's great. I'm glad you guys had fun. It was fun watching you. Hey, HSF. Sorry if I missed you earlier, man. I appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, that's good to hear, Michael. I'm glad you're doing well, man. That's just some scary stuff with those winds. Whew. My kids live in Colorado, and there 3 summers ago, they had the big, was it 3 or 4 years ago now? They had the big fire in Poudre Canyon, and it's right where we drive to go to Steamboat to go skiing. We drove through that whole burnout area and on the way up, and it was a mess, like pretty devastating. Tad. April can't get here fast enough. Yeah, people were even talking about how cold it was down in Florida. I saw the snow on the beach in Alabama. That's crazy. What else do we have? Pistol Pete, Tad, my sister is in Evansville, great area. Hey, Bob. Hola from Mexican vacation. Nice, Bob. Enjoy. Carrie, listen, if you haven't, Carrie takes awesome pictures of his cars. I appreciate his photography. Just like Chris Fretter, I appreciate his photography posting. But Carrie has a great wood track. It's a kind of a modified oval, so it kind of gives him the best of both worlds. I love it. It's really, really good. Good stuff. Thanks for joining tonight. Good to have you. Maybe Elon Musk will buy. Bill, it's all right, man. It's all right. It sounds like there's enough cars that Harry could have, like, Showdown 2.0 and run those cars. At least maybe he'll collect them all and do a little fast lap challenge or something. I don't know. Or he'll just take them back to the post office and send them back to us. Not really. I'm not sure what the not really was for. Sorry, George. I missed it. Lotus, good evening. Marty, hope you had a good week, mate. Yeah, it's been good. The Buckeyes, national champions, that's always a good thing to happen around here. So it was a fun day at work. Everybody was in a great mood. They were storing the mail. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they were just overwhelmed, and they put them on a truck and they sat there because my package did not get scanned from Sunday night last week until Sunday night this week. So they went 7 days without scanning my package. So still training their new AI software. Oh, they just ended their contract with USPS. Well, it's probably because it was making them look bad. Let us proclaim the mystery of Fast Laps. Vin, I use Fast Laps every day, bro. I just know that he's swamped with people wanting to beta test for him. And he's really close to putting it out in public. All Revo Group 2 racers, please report to Tech and the Magnum Marshal 2. Yes. I don't know if Bruce has a Magnet Marshal. I bet he does. He just doesn't pull it out. Man, I'm not scared of Tech. He's going to say, "Man, this car's a piece of crap." Is what Tech might say, but I'm not afraid to get teched. Yeah, Carrie, I think you're right. I actually did pay for priority for these cars. That's the sad thing, is I paid extra for them still to not get delivered. So I thought maybe they would pull those out and deliver them since they were priority, but they just made a decision to anything going to that distribution center set there for a week and nobody touched it. Hey, Mad P, welcome. You picked a fine time to leave me loose, wheel. Ooh, -20 in Minnesota. That's cold, bro. Yeah, we got the wind chills, but all good, Marty. Sucks your cars didn't make it, but you got some more scratch builds under your belt and had fun building. Oh, yeah, Tad. Yeah, each time we get a little better and cleaner, but I'm not sure that any of my cars run better than my first scratch build. The Jake Dyke Special runs pretty good. I don't know that my Maverick does not run near as well as my Jake Dyke Special, my Camaro. So, but my soldering is so much better. Let's see. Where do we get? How can we say hi to everyone, Marty? You'll have to have a two-parter. So yeah, man, I'm just answering questions at this point. Does Harry have a YouTube channel? Yes, it's called Home Racing World. Better life through chemistry. Richard Whitney, is aging 1 week in a snowbank the new 2 lines tuning trick? Richard, I don't know. It runs pretty good for sitting in a snowbank for a week. It said it delivered on the 11th, and I found it on the 18th. So 7 days. There you go. Let's see. Please report your car tech with the bodies off. That's right. Hey, Patrick. There you go. Josh, Marty, are you ready for Saturday? Not really. I am not ready for Saturday, but we'll see how it goes. Hey, Jamal. Hopefully things are going well down there. Yeah, going through tech was interesting at the Nationals. That was new for me. We'll see you, Ernest. Thanks for joining. John, the first non-alpha last week was 6th in my BMW. It's a great car, but I let it down and came out twice, finishing with 45 laps. 4th, 5th, and 6th all had 45 laps. Yep. but the winter had 47, 48, something like that. So that's a big difference. So I said that one of the things that I've been doing is working on layouts. And if anybody knows me, which some of you do, testers for windshields is what I use. There you go. Question: what do you use gluing tires on wheels? I use nail polish. Some people use silicone. Yep, Robert Lee says he uses silicone. I just think that the nail polish takes a minute to set up, so you can actually like get it in there. Plus, it wipes off easy. It's not too messy, and it seems to work for me. Jeff G., your car has been sitting in Kansas City for 2 weeks now. Yep. Well, see, mine was sitting in St. Louis, and they just moved it to Kansas City on Sunday night, and now it's Tuesday, and it hasn't moved again. So I don't get it, man. We've spent way too much time talking about this. So I've been working on. This is my present layout. So that's the present layout. It's about 26 feet. I've got a little bit of an overhang on both ends. It's a 24-foot table, and I'm over about a foot on each side, so just shy of 26 feet. Robert wants to know, how did I do? You're talking about the Fast Lap Challenge, Robert? The video gets released on Saturday. We'll see how you did. Actually, off the top of my head, I don't remember. Because I actually recorded it about a week and a half ago. Something like that. But you did well. You did well. So that's what my old layout looks like. And let me see if I can bring up... Let's see. Browser. All right. So here is what I'm looking at from a standpoint. So I've got two options. So this is the flat track option. All right. So this is 24 feet long, and it's 8 foot 6 inches wide. So I'm going to have to deal with a little bit of overhang. I think I've got that figured out, about 6 inches. But I can't squeeze this track anymore without creating a bridge. And I could easily elevate that there over top of the pit lane, I guess, because I still have digital, so we'll still have a pit lane, still have lane changers. But to complete this, I need to pick up some straights, which I've been talking to Bruce, and he has some. So Thursday I will get that and get started on this layout. But let me do this. Here is the other layout that I was working on. Is pretty much the same thing, except for the fact that it has a donut. And just so you guys know, the legend, let's hide the track pieces. The orange are R1s, the yellows are R2s, the greens are R3s, and the blues are R4s. You can probably tell that, but it gives you an idea of what this track looks like. And pretty much the same basic track except for the donut. Now, I like this. That gap between the donut and the big turn upper right-hand corner, that is, I have a pole that I deal with in the middle of my layout, and that pole should nestle right into that space. If it doesn't, I will make adjustments to the length of that, where that donut goes. But right now, the way it sets, it's about 96 feet of lane length for the outside lane. And with the donut, all of the lanes are the same length. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts? So, just like the eye doctor, choice 1 or choice 2? Choice 1 or choice 2? So I don't know. What do you guys think? Hey Boone, welcome. Hey, Injap boy, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Appreciate that. But so I'm looking at those. What's your thoughts on the layouts? Hey, nobody's home. Took 12 days from Indianapolis to reach Harry. Must be the Pony Express. At least you made it, though. That's good. Mike wants to know, where is a good place to buy Slot Invasion? You can buy Slot Invasion directly from Oscar at slotinvasion.com, or you can get Slot Invasion at LEB Hobbies. And who else? Professor Motors? I don't know. Oscar, if you're in here, put your link in the description. That's funny. Injet Boy says, how much clearance to the track underpass, Marty? I have about 4 inches of clearance with that overpass. It looks low, but my scaly bus gets under there without any problems. So that tells you. George put it out there. Thank you, George. Appreciate that, man. John, 40s in Central Florida. That's cold, Central Florida. Josh, that's great to hear. I don't doubt Andy's car. It's all right. I'm glad that somebody's got warm weather. Charles Bug, it's cold in Middle Tennessee, 9 degrees. Have a great evening. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate it. Bo, that's cool. Thanks, man. So I'm if I miss somebody, hey Gladstone. Thanks for being here, man. Nice. Yeah, they're close. That helps. Yeah, the snowstorm was big there a couple weeks ago and caused lots of issues. Does anyone know Raul's eBay name? Dan, I used to know it. I would have to look it up. I'll look it up and I'll send you an email. I think I have your email address. Okay, so I got here. Lotus says Sally Hansen's works great. Yep. Greg says he knows which one. Hey, Bob, welcome. Let's see. That's not a wood track. No, it's not. Nobody's home. You like the flat track design. Gosh, can I add that in a window? I'm guessing I probably could. Couldn't I? Source. Camera. I probably could add that. Browser. So there it is in the browser, and then I should be able to show current application. Gosh, I forget how to add the overlay. Overlay. New image. New camera overlay. There we go. There we go. So I can move that up here. All right. So tell me what you like and what you don't like. John Albright sent me a couple of ideas on his part. But I think that what I like about this is, one, it's a flat track, so no bridge, very easy to marshal and reach from one side of the table. Not that I can't get to the other side of the table, the far side, but with, all 4 driver stations are along that front stretch, the big long stretch. They'll make it easy. The reach shouldn't be too hard. Should be able to keep things on the table without any problems. The upper right-hand corner, I'm probably going to have to add a little bit to hold that corner on. But yeah, flat is back. John, you like layout 1. Layout 1 is that with the donut. Oh, Jerry votes for the flat track. Bo, yes. It has had some major changes in the last couple months. I lost about 60 or 70 track designs because he updated the webpage and renewed the cookies, and I lost all of them. 1, Mark Cunningham, 1. Flat track being layout 1 in my comment. Okay. Shotgun Dave, you like the S's, so you like this one that's up right now. DTS, I'm not opposed to the donut. I think it would be fun. Visually, it's not an issue. I don't think it would be an issue with marshalling either, because I can still reach it with the grabber without any problems. DJ Patrick says, I like the donut. Let me flip back over to the donut so you guys can see that. It's a nice tight donut, so I think that I'm not sure that it's really true donut. It doesn't wrap around itself completely. But I've just been calling it the donut. Steve. That's good. Choice one. Choice one. You like the donut. Gotcha. Love the S's. Yeah, Lotus, I'm with you. I love S's. I've got a little bit of S in there. Coming out of that donut, because in the front straight we would be moving from right to left. So you would come down, hang a right. The only thing about this is these layouts are heavy right-hand turns, just by nature. And not that I don't like that. It's just, yeah, Carrie, you're assuming clockwise. You are correct. So we got votes for 2. Yes, I'm not changing the track again. Fast and forgiving, top end rules over handling. I hate bridges and hidden underpasses. So at the Nationals, it was a flat track, but it was fairly technical. And I guess that's what we're trying to do, is create. But it did have some long stretches. It had a big long stretch in front of the part of the drivers, and then a right-hand turn and another long stretch, and then a sharp right-hand turn that went into the technical side of the track. And so I'm trying to recreate some of that, and get a little longer track. Because right now we're at 58 feet. This is going to almost double the size. It's going to add additional 40 feet to the track, so not quite double. So that's part of it. Steve W. Hi, Marty. And all high today, 9 within 12 inches of fresh snow, Ontario, Canada. Woo, Steve. We got a little bit of snow, just a dusting today, but it was awfully cold and dry, so it just kind of blew around. Mike says track 1. If you can get through the donut, you've got it licked. On the other hand, the flat track is another great layout. Why not try both? So, John, you got me figured out. We will probably try both, because I think I've got enough track to build both of those. And so I can take it apart at that one middle seam in the middle of the R4 and 5 kink to the right. If I start there and take that apart, I should have enough track to leave it assembled and be able to slide it in and out, and do some testing. So I think what we're going to try first is the flat track, and then we'll run it for a couple weeks, and then we'll try it with the donut and run it for a couple weeks. And so that's kind of that's where I was building to. And that's the plan. So I think if I can get my inventory finalized tonight after the live stream, I will probably not tear this down, but I will make sure that I get all the pieces I need from Bruce on Thursday, which at this point I think it's 26. It's either going to be 24 or 26 straights that I need, and I think I might need one R3 piece. I had sent a few of my R3s off to Frankie about a year ago, and I think that I might be short one now. But I don't think so, but I need to make sure with my inventory. So we're going to do a track count. I'm going to do a track count tonight. That is because he does live chats with everyone. That is what I'm seeing more of. Bo, does Raul only post clips from his channel members lately because he hasn't uploaded anything since 5 months? Yeah, the only thing Raul's doing right now is he's doing live streams with Pete and on Shenanigans on Thursdays, and then every other Saturday with Joe and Pete, Areras, Carrera, and Show Me. So, yep, that's what he's been doing. And so George is right. You race at Cincy, and they have S turns. Use the flat track layout. Yeah, HSF. Our 2-lane that we did before we went to 4-lane was very similar to the Cincy Slots track, and I think it really helped us get better at Cincy because it was close. It wasn't exact, but it had a similar flow and rhythm, and so it was quick to adjust. This isn't going to be anything like Cincy, but I think the technical pieces will really help us out. So, yep. Bo, in this layout, you have some borders not concluded. Fine there, too tight. Yeah, I've got borders drawn in, but I would not put borders on the middle of these straights. So, yeah. Ron says he's a fan of the flat track. Charles says he likes the flat track. Donuts are for roast coffee. That's right. It's hard to visualize if you don't have 4 lanes. The top straight, can you put the S's there and the straight where the S's are now? You're talking about in the flat. Let me go back to that. I could, Greg, except for the fact that I kind of like that speed section down the front straight, pretty easy right-hand turn, and then a sharper right-hand turn into that second little back straight. I think that can be a really fast section and pretty, but challenging because you've got to keep it in the slot. When I was thinking about this layout, I was thinking about the places that I had out on the Nationals track that I felt like I needed to work on, and it was my braking areas. I really struggled in the fast sections. In the technical sections, I did not come off as much. Once I figured out the 2 really tight R1 turns, I got through those fairly well. It was the big straights and overdriving the big long straights and missing the break point. And so that's the purpose of why I've built that. So so you understand, like there's method behind my madness that I'm trying to accomplish with the layout. There are some specifics that I'm trying to accomplish to help, because the layout for the Nationals will not change. It'll be the same layout next year, as far as I'm aware. And so I want some elements that feel a little as close as I can get to. They're using scale auto track. The Brady's are different. The R1 in Carrera is a lot wider than the R1 in Scale Auto, and Polycar and Scale Electric, I guess. But so it's not quite as tight. But I'm trying to create some places that really work on the tight turns and the speed sections. So, yeah, that's why this is fun. I mean, you can ask my brother. I've been working on these designs for months, and they've looked completely different. I've tore them apart, put them back together, tore them apart, put them back together. Yeah. Choice 2, I know it is fast and good. Choice 2 is very similar to Greg's track, only in Carrera. It's not exact. Greg's got a little kink and a kind of a diagonal section kind of down here. But it is similar. It's got a little bit of a point and shoot down and back. A little bit, but not completely. Jerry, just knock the wall down and extend the room. There we go. Those S's are great leading to the corner, then flat stick out of it, track 1. Yep, it'll be fun. Only problem with tracks that are right or left turn heavy is wear pattern on tires and braids. Yeah, I know. The other thing we can do is I can reverse the polarity and run the opposite direction. If I pull the digital pieces out, so that's an option too. I just pick up a few more straights and remove digital altogether. But I don't really want to do that because my nephews love to run digital. My brother-in-laws, when they come over, they like to run digital. So I kind of want to keep that. Plus, I have the axle box, so good for setting your ride height to run firm on one side if you are more right or left-hand turns. Yeah. Dan, question, Marty, with 4 lanes, I assume you never race digital with the lane changers. Dan, yes, actually we do. We do run digital. When Dusty comes over, we don't run digital anymore. Mainly because when he comes over and John Mark comes over, it's usually for a purpose. We're usually training, tuning for the next class at Cincy Slots. So we're running analog. But they do run digital classes at Cincy Slots, except for the fact, we don't have a ton of digital cars. And so they run classes where we don't have cars. And we just, I know we just need to buy some digital cars. So, and run the digital class. But no, we're still running digital, just not very often. Oh, that's right. Donuts. I say choice 2. Chris, if you need R3, let me know. Okay, Chris, thanks, man. I think I'm good, but it's good to know that it might just be one. The nice thing about Bruce is Bruce has some used stuff that you can usually buy one piece. I don't have to buy a whole set. Greg, I have a tub of cool. Greg, thanks, man. I'll let you guys know. I should be in good shape from a curve standpoint. We have lots of curves. I just don't have. It's this layout compared to my other layout. There's a ton of straights, especially when you start building a 4-lane. The S turns before that 90 is going to be tough. So Slot Car League of Champions, we're running clockwise. So you hit the S turns coming out of that turn. So yeah, I think you'll already be slow. You'll be coming out of that into the S turns. Yep, keeping the digital. Resin print some track. There you go. Yeah, somewhat similar, but reverse and cleaner in some areas than my track. I really like it. Thanks, Greg. Greg, I had bounced some of this off of Greg already because I appreciate his thought from a standpoint of the Nationals track. And I know that layout is important to him, just like John Albright. I kind of bounced these off of John and my brother Dusty and John Mark and people who would be on this track a lot. Chris, I don't know if I showed you the pictures. I don't know if I had them down here when you were here Sunday, but yeah. You got an R2D2 for sale there, Chris. I need a new droid. Very good. Cool. Holy cow. It's 9:27. Gosh, how did this happen fast? How did we get to 9:30? 9:30, and we were just at 100. Now we dropped down to 95, so people are starting to sign off. I don't know. Changing the layout, I get excited about it. It's a lot of fun for me to change the layout. It's a lot of work, though. Those you have layouts, you understand. And it's one of the reasons why I haven't really moved into scenery is we do a lot of racing here. But so I'm limited scenery. I've got my pit lane. Shout out to Pete. Thanks, Pete. I've got my lighting. Shout out to Doug and Ian at Magnetic Racing. I've got a bunch of billboards. Shout out to Kevin at Racetrack Scenics. Got the stuff from you guys, and I love that stuff. I want to keep it incorporated, but I haven't gone heavy scenery because we do change frequently. This layout has been here the longest since we've started. It was over a year. And I think before that, we were at like 9 months with the previous one. And then the others were just like we were adding all the time and making changes. And as we learned and grew and understood better what we liked out of a track and what we were trying to accomplish, learning to drive. So Bo says, let's build something over the Atlantic. There you go. I would love to do Riverside Raceway. Yeah, Riverside was a cool, and then like Racetrack Scenics does some great Riverside scenery, right? So I just screenshot both tracks to my AI. It says Marty Ford will end up with the donut layout. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, Steve, that's all right. I appreciate that. Thanks for the shout out. Jerry wants to know what gearing are you using on your oval? The 927 in the inline stuff seems to be a really good gear for that shorter oval, Jerry. So I think all of our Scrouch builds have 927. It's possible that maybe dropping a tooth might be good. George went up a couple teeth on his spur, and he's got the fast laps. So I think it was just that car is really, really good. And we have had some cars that are close. Jeff G's car was really close, and it was still about 3 or 4 tenths or 3/10 off of George. George his car, Dusty ran it, John Mark ran it, I ran it, and we were all getting really quick times. It just hooked up so much better than the rest of the cars. And I don't know, I don't have a good answer for why. We're using the same urethane tires for the Home Racing World Proxy. So, yeah, I don't know why. Not a great answer. But the 927 seems to be great all around gear and is working really well. So, but we'll play around with it. I am using on my little pink hot rod. I am using the 1 tooth lower, so I'm running the 26 926 gear ratio in it, and it's fast. It gets up to speed really quick, so that gear might help it a little bit. And then it also has Bobcat urethanes on it, which are a little softer shore tire, and it grips really, really well. So that car, it's got a really good chance of knocking George off. But again, it was built specifically for that. So we'll see. But we got other cars coming in. I know other people have been reaching out to me. So he was running the red gear, John, and I think that's a 30-tooth spur. Yeah, George was running the same tires, and it may be the red gear. He just had great top end, but the car was so good in the turns, and that's really where he made it up. I felt like we were in with George's car, just the way that it turned. If I go back and watch the video, it just turned really well. You could coast into the turn, like hit the brake, and then right back into it, and it would pull through the turn back into the straight. And we were just able to get on the trigger a little earlier than with like the Jake Dyke Special. I had to get about halfway through the turn before I could really ease into the throttle. So that's really the difference. But yeah, it's his 930. It's the red gear. That's what I thought. That car's good, man. It's and George knows he built it. I think it finished first or second in the showdown last time, if I'm not mistaken. It's a good car. It's a really, really good car. George, I will tell you, we ran the crap out of that thing. Dusty probably put 1,000, 2,000 laps on it. I know I put at least that. John Mark raced it a bunch when he was over. We put a lot of laps on that car, man. If it was not broken, it is now. It was a fun car to drive. I don't know what else I have to tackle tonight. Again, I didn't really get on the track. That's the new track view. Running cars on it should look pretty good. That's a great view of the track. The problem I'm running into is it's so cold. I don't know if anything would grip on the track. I don't know. Do we run a lap or two? Yeah, maybe we do. Before we let's see. What am I looking for here? Oh, Alexa. Hey, Alexa, turn on the racetrack. Let's run John Mark's. We'll run the Marcos, see if it's gotten any better. We'll run a few quick laps. Hold on. All right, guys. I don't know. We'll see. What do you think? How did the laps look going around the track? Is that camera angle all right? Yeah, my headache kind of went away. I started hanging out with all my friends, Steve. Yeah, that's possible, George, that I don't know that your car was getting any faster the more we drove it. More pink hot rod photos, please. Carrie, okay, I will. My track just turned on in the basement. That is so funny. I'm glad I'm not the only person that has Alexa tied to my track. Actually, I can say, Alexa, welcome race fans, and that's one of my commands, and it'll turn on. Yeah. Yeah, clean up. That's right. Clean up in turn 3. That's funny. Your Alexa heard it. All right, guys, we're gonna let's see, Dan. That is a Marcos. That's the Riva slot Marcos. Here, let me show you. Yep. It is a great car. It wasn't great. I've had to work on it. Everybody keeps talking about how great the Marcoses are, and I've got it running pretty good, but it's not as good as this, and it's definitely not as smooth and quiet. And I've been working on that, and it's getting better. Like it's getting much better, but it's definitely not there yet. So, all right, guys, we're gonna call it the night. That's great. Guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. I hope you like this kind of content. I hope you enjoy Tuesday nights, the community that we have here, just shooting the bull about slot cars, letting me ramble on. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys find it entertaining or fun, or you just like hanging out, and I'm happy for that. So we'll continue doing this until no one shows up anymore, I guess. So as long as you're still in, I'm still in. We'll continue to have fun on Tuesday nights. Maybe next week, new layout. If that's the case, we'll run some laps on it. If everybody's -3, whoo. So guys, thanks, Fred. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Good night, and go have some fun racing.